welcome back to my kitchen. Today I have another incredible dessert recipe for you guys, and this one can actually double as breakfast too. I'll be making my raspberry cream rolls, and these are just out of this world. They're so good, and I'm using my cinnamon roll recipe, which, by the way, if you guys haven't tried, it's like the best cinnamon roll recipe ever. I'll leave a link down in the video description box below. And instead of the classic cinnamon roll filling, we're going to use cream cheese and raspberries and cinnamon and sugar. It's just an absolutely incredible recipe. Let me show you how I make it. And the dough needs to be prepared first because it needs to rise and proof and all that good stuff. So let's get started on that. I have 1 cup of whole milk that I've heated in the microwave until it's lukewarm. You don't want it to be too hot, otherwise it's just going to kill the yeast. And then to that, I'm going to add some sugar. So I'm going to add half a cup of sugar, and sugar is food for yeast. So the more sugar, the better. So I'm just going to stir that in, let that sugar dissolve, and then I'll sprinkle over 1 tablespoon of dry active yeast. I'm going to let it sit here for a good 5 minutes, let it start proofing. Next, I'm going to add in a 1/3 cup of melted butter. Make sure you let that butter cool down a little bit so it's not too hot. 2 large eggs. And 1 teaspoon of salt. Give this a good mix. Mix it in for about a minute until it's nice and smooth, and then we'll start adding the flour. I have 4 cups of all-purpose flour. Now, in my original cinnamon roll recipe, I used bread flour, but honestly, all-purpose flour works just as well. I'm just going to add about a cup at a time and mix it in with my whisk at first, then I'll switch over to a spatula. All right, my dough has come together nicely. I'm going to turn it out onto my work surface here and have a little extra flour on the side I'm going to use for dusting. And you want to knead this dough for a good 4 to 5 minutes. You want it to be nice and smooth and elastic. And that's the secret to making really great cinnamon rolls. It all starts with the dough. This dough turned out phenomenal, so now it's time to let it proof. I just cleaned up my mixing bowl a little bit, and I'm going to place the dough back into the bowl. And I'm going to cover it with a clean kitchen towel, and then I'm going to tuck it away into a warm corner of my kitchen and let it proof for at least an hour. It needs to double up in size, be nice and fluffy. Now you can also place this next to the stove where it's nice and warm so it proofs up even faster. All right, it's been an hour and my dough is almost ready to be rolled out, but before I do that, I'm going to prepare the filling. So I have 8 ounces of cream cheese. I put it into a mixing bowl, and then I actually placed it into the microwave for about 45 seconds because the cream cheese needs to be super soft and super spreadable. We don't want to damage the dough. So just get it in the microwave, get it really nice and soft, and then we're going to add the rest of the ingredients, which are half a cup of white granulated sugar and a 1/4 cup of light brown sugar, a tablespoon of ground cinnamon, and a teaspoon of fresh nutmeg, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and if you want to be extra special like me, you can also add some cream cheese extract. I'm just going to add half a teaspoon of this emulsion. And emulsion, just like a thicker extract, it's usually concentrated. It's really great for frostings. And then grab a whisk and mix this all together. It should be pretty easy with that melted cream cheese. And this is ready to go into the filling. All right, so I have some extra flour on the side. I'm going to punch the dough down, turn it out onto my work surface. Add a little bit more flour here. Just going to give it a really quick knead for about 30 seconds. All right, so I rolled my dough out. It's about 18 by 14 inches across. I'm gonna add my cream cheese filling next. Just drop it onto the dough, and then we're gonna spread it out. You wanna make sure you get this cream cheese mixture to every single corner of this dough because we're gonna use every last bit of it. And you wanna make sure you have that same flavor in every single bite. So I bought a bag of freeze-dried raspberries, and then I just slightly crushed them. I'm going to add some freeze-dried raspberries on the inside. And then with the raspberry preserves, I'm just going to kind of drizzle them over the whole roll. You don't want too much because then it's going to just seep out, but you want enough so that you have raspberry flavor in every bite. All right, well, let's roll it up. So just start at the long end, and we're just gonna gently roll everything together. Oops. And then for slicing the cinnamon rolls, just grab a sharp serrated knife. And then I'm going to gently transfer the rolls into a big casserole tray. And my cinnamon rolls are looking good in their 2 pans. I split the recipe in half because I'm going to save one of these for later. I'm just going to let these rolls proof for about 15-20 minutes, wrap them up real well with some plastic, and then place them into the refrigerator. They're going to be just fine there for a couple days. And these, I'm going to let them proof for about 30 to 40 minutes, and then we'll bake them. And once these rolls proof for about 30 to 40 minutes, they should be doubled up in size. I'm going to bake them at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 30 to 35 minutes. We're going to come back at the 10-minute baking mark to add my secret ingredient. All right, my cinnamon rolls have been in the oven for 10 minutes. Now for my secret. I'm going to grab a 1/4 cup. Today I have just whole milk. You can either use milk or half and half, and just pour that over the rolls. This is going to just really transform these rolls. It's going to add so much extra moisture. You guys are going to love this addition. Now back into the oven for another 20 to 25 minutes. You want the top to be nice and golden brown. And while my raspberry rolls finish off in the oven, I'm going to make a glaze. Now I'm using just half a recipe for the glaze since I'm only baking half of them. I have 1 cup of confectioner's sugar. I'll add in a tablespoon of lemon juice. I just took these raspberry rolls out of the oven and they smell so good. I'm just gonna grab that glaze I prepared earlier. We're just gonna drizzle it over the top. I do like 2 coats. I do a little coat as soon as I take them out of the oven, and then do another coat later. This looks so good. And then to finish these off, how about some more of those freeze-dried raspberries? Oh, I can't wait to dig in. This looks so good. All right, guys, I just took one of these out of the pan and it looks so good. Check out this dough. I mean, it's so incredible. It's so light and fluffy. It's gonna taste absolutely amazing. And that's it for my raspberry cream rolls. I absolutely love the aroma of these baking in the oven, and I can't wait to dig in and enjoy. They just smell so good. Oh my goodness, guys. If you have tried my classic cinnamon rolls recipe, you're gonna be head over heels in love with this raspberry version. It is so good. You have that cream cheese on the inside with the raspberries, and you have that glaze, just unbeatable. You have all the flavors of a classic cinnamon roll plus the raspberries, just so good. I'm gonna leave the full recipe up on my blog. Just head on down into that video description box. There's always a link there. It'll take you straight over. And it'll also include a link for my classic cinnamon rolls recipe as well, if you haven't tried it. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoy this at home, and I'll see you next time.